Okay. Welcome, everybody, to episode 11? 12. Episode 12, Kick the Can podcast. Sort of got a little sidetracked with summer and doing stuff. Hopefully get back on track here now. Was thinking about a few things that I wanted to throw out there with you guys. First thing I'm going to start off is a few weeks ago I asked about it if anybody from Mount Carmel 8th grade boys had gone on that Washington, D.C. Trip. So I guess like a graduation at the end of 8th grade, we went to Washington. And I couldn't get any feedback from anybody. I guess guys were thinking they're still going to get in trouble for the shenanigans, but I'm going to go out there and tell it like it is, because we got in trouble when it's all about trouble with that group. So we it's all planned to go to this Washington D.C. 8th grade boys, and I don't think a lot of people went. It probably was a little expensive for some of the folks. Not everybody maybe could afford it, or they couldn't do it. But most of the guys that I've asked over the years about it didn't go on the trip. But it was a memorable trip. We had gone to I think it was like a Friday afternoon, Friday morning. We headed down to Washington, and on the way we were going to stay at the infamous Watergate Hotel. It's like, I guess it's downtown or on the river there, Potomac. But on the way down, being good Catholic boys that we were, we stopped off at there's a basilica on the campus of the Catholic University. It's like on the Maryland, D.C. border. It's still in Washington, but it's just a few blocks, and you're in Maryland. So it's the Basilica, the National Shrine to Mary or something. Beautiful, beautiful church. If you're ever down there, it's worth to stop by. So we went there on the way to the Watergate, and got off the bus, nice. And coincidentally, years later, as the years rolled on, my son Luke wind up attending Catholic University. So that became one of those small world things. So it was always fun to go back. And actually, over the 4 years that he was there, you go down. And, I always thought about when we went there with the 8th grade trip. So we proceeded to head down to the Watergate and get up in there and settle in our rooms. I know, I'm pretty sure I was bunking in with Googie and Louis Petroni. That's pretty much what I remember. And the brothers that were in charge with us, I think was Brother Joseph and Brother Chester. Now, these guys, they could have been like our older brothers. They were very young, and I think I had mentioned in one of the other episodes my belief about the brothers, especially these young ones. They just didn't want to go to Vietnam. So somewhere along the line, oh yeah, but you can go become a brother. Not that much training. You're not a priest. And the war's over, you go back, and you're still looking, you're not a draft dodger, you're a religious person. So I think these two brothers, and it might have been a couple more, that fell into that category, because, they were just great guys. They could have been anybody's older brother, and they were the chaperones on the trip. and I guess they thought it was their vacation too. They were doing their own thing. So we get down to the hotel, and I don't remember where the beer came from, but somebody brought the beer, and it was warm. So we proceeded to pretty much take every ice cube on every floor in the Watergate Hotel. I could still see those cans of beer floating in the bathtub full of ice cubes. So inadvertently, we already drew attention to ourselves by, whacking up all the ice cubes. So, but, nothing came of it. We got the party going, and it was a fun night. We had to, some kids were into it, some kids weren't. The brothers were nowhere to be seen. They might have been sipping on a little bit of Pinot Grigio or something, who knows. But they weren't around. And we had the music going in the room. And lo and behold, there's a girls' school in the hotel too. Girls, Catholic high school girls. So before you know it, hey, they're drinking beer too. And it wasn't loud, but it was, it was a lot of people in one or two rooms, and it really wasn't that late of a thing. It wasn't like in the middle of the night. But before you know it, the nuns were looking for the girls, and there you go, party over. So the nuns grabbed the girls, party over, and lo and behold, we're kicked out of the Watergate Hotel. It's Friday night. We go, there'll be no more sightseeing. Get the bus Saturday morning back to New York, and everybody's pins and needles. What's going to happen to us when we get back? And sure enough, Brother John Shepherd, he was a tough guy. He was out there waiting for us. And, I'm going to embellish a little bit. If you remember Brother John Shepherd, he wore a cape, and he was out there with that cape right in front of the school. And nobody really got tuned up or anything like that. I think it was just let your parents know and, jug for, a month or whatever. It was close to graduation anyway. Might have been around Easter time when this happened. So that was, I wanted to share that with you, Mount Carmel guys, and the people that like these crazy growing up stories. I couldn't help thinking about this week. There's some kind of a Son of Sam documentary on Netflix. And, really, how many more times can they spin a Son of Sam story? I pretty much saw them all. Movies, documentaries, news, news stories over the years, but that was our heyday, 76, 77. Most of the guys, I wasn't really a disco all the time guy, but most of my buddies were, and I don't really remember it. We're not going. The Son of Sam's out there, some of these crazy guys from the neighborhood, the Son of Sam would approach them. They would have shot Son of Sam. But, it really wasn't that much of an impact on us. We're 76. We're 22, 23. we're not really doing too much worrying at that age. But everybody knew about it. The news, it was all over the news, the newspapers, and we were aware of it, and it hit a little close to home. Danny Claro called me this week, and somebody at work told him about the documentary on Netflix, and Danny's memory clicked right in, and he remembered the front page of the Daily News from it was like the end of June 1977. One of the girls that was shot and survived, one of the last victims, was from Pelham Parkway. So Danny calls me. He goes, "Wasn't Gary on the front page of the Daily News with the Son of Sam victim?" And I go, "Yeah, he was." I couldn't remember who was in the picture with him. I knew it wasn't me, but the picture was taken at Orchard Beach, and it was taken by the girl's name is Judy Placido that got shot. She's from Pelham Parkway, and her girlfriend took this photo, and I'm going to put it up with this episode, and Gary's in the picture, front page of the Daily News. Excuse me. So I went, it wasn't easy to get on the internet, but I found a partial picture. It wasn't the whole front page, and I read a little bit of the story that this Judy Placido, she had graduated from St. Catherine's that Saturday, and she went out to the disco in Queens, and that's where she got shot with this other kid, and they both survived. They were lucky. So I'm going to put up this picture of Gary and these other two guys and this Judy Placido that was on the front page of the Daily News. But when I was looking at this picture, I started to think about how even the media back then, we just had that nasty shooting down in Manhattan, and the newspapers, they just want to get a picture of one of the victims, either with their kids or on a vacation. So really nothing changed. Here's this poor girl, Judy Placido. She gets shot by Son of Sam. The Daily News gets hold of a picture that her girlfriend took, and I guess she's the one that gave it to the Daily News. So the media is still, they still got they want to, just make everything about sensationalizing a bad thing. Yeah, because people really don't want to, an article is enough. You don't need a picture of this Judy Placido at Orchard Beach with a couple of guys, just hanging out. I don't see. But it was on the front page, and I'm going to put that up. I don't know who these other two guys are. Gary at that 77. I know he was hanging around with a lot of guys down Allenton Avenue. Made a lot of friends down there on Allenton. So those might have been some Allenton Avenue guys. But we'll put that up so stir up your memories, and maybe we'll get some comments out of everybody. What else did we do recently? I wanted to also talk about, I've been thinking about Sinatra, and, you look on Facebook, there's always these positive stories about songs and this and that. So I was thinking about a story that I thought was kind of funny. We used to go to Vegas. Vegas and Atlantic City were easy trips. you pretty much you stayed in the hotel that the shows were being performed. So there was no going anywhere, or cars, or nothing like that. Easy, easy road trips. So we were in, I think this was Vegas, and this was, Sinatra was going to do 2 shows, if you could believe it or not. Here's a guy, 75, reading from a teleprompter. They're going to do 2 shows. The casino, I guess they do big business when he's performing. Anyway, 2 shows on a Saturday night. So there was really, like for the staff and all of us, we would have dinner when Sinatra went on stage for the first show. We would have a catered dinner in not really the dressing room, like a green room or something off the dressing room. And they would just bring in the food, and we talk. This particular dinner was Hank Catania. He was the stage sound and lights and production coordinator, all of that. Susan Reynolds, she was the PR girl, and you needed to have her because you never know when Sinatra's going to either cancel the show or tell somebody to fuck off. You needed the PR girl always around to clean it up. It didn't happen too often, but anytime a statement had to be given, she was right there to give it. And she's a lovely lady, Susan Reynolds. Just a little background on her. Her father, back in the 50s and 60s, when actors and actresses and entertainers realized they needed an image to portray, they started to hire PR people. And her father was like on the cutting edge of establishing a firm that strictly dealt with public relations, for entertainers or really anybody. So Susan got a start right there with her father, and she wound up just working strictly, for Sinatra, part of a firm, but she worked for Sinatra. So Susan was there. Eliot Wiseman, he was the manager, booking agent guy. And I don't know, it might have been, now Frank Jr. was there. So it might have been even, because he should have been on the stage. So if he was there, it might have been, in between the 2 shows. And the old man, Sinatra probably didn't want to eat. So it was definitely in between the 2 shows, not while Sinatra was on. So it was Frank Jr., Hank, Susan, myself, Eliot Wiseman, and Brad Garrett, the comedian from, very famous now, Everybody Loves Raymond, I think it is. He's the comic on Everybody Does Raymond. I really don't watch it, but my wife watches it. Danny Calaro, he loves it. He was an opening act. They used a lot for Liza Minnelli. So Gary would always do the booking for Liza, and Brad Garrett might have been one of her Liza's number 1 opening acts. So he was there, and he was, he was pretty funny and stand up, tall, gawky guy. So we're having dinner, and Frank Jr. could be a little, edgy, saying what was on his mind. He figures he's the old man's son, and he starts in with Eliot about working Sinatra too much travel, too much. He shouldn't be doing it. He's old. Basically Frank Jr. called out Eliot for, it was a money grab. Keep the guy singing. he'll make money, and the rest of us will make money too, myself included. So Ellie got a little taken back, and they started to go back and forth, arguing, when Frank Jr. tries to leap over the dinner table to get at Eliot. I'm telling you, man, I couldn't believe it. And I didn't go try to stop anybody. This was just way too entertaining for me. They didn't come to blows, but they were yelling, and Frank Jr. made a fizzle attempt to try to get at Eliot. And with Sinatra, sure, could he have cut back? Yeah. But apparently when he was home and not working, why aren't we working? Why aren't we touring? What are we doing here? So I guess it was the lesser of two evils. They tried to book him. I know Mrs. Sinatra was all in on it too. She'd rather have him out touring than, sitting around in Palm Springs. Wouldn't be good for him. So I remember thinking about, after this was all over, I just couldn't get the grin off my face just rethinking of what had happened. And it just went on. Frank Jr., he was making money too. Frank Jr., come on. I don't know how talented he was as a conductor, or he was very knowledgeable about music. I know that. But if he wasn't Frank Sinatra Jr., he wasn't Frank Sinatra's son, who knows, what would he be doing? So that was one of the funny nights. That was one of the funny nights that we had on tour, and I always remember, like in the later years, when Brad Garrett became huge in that sitcom, he wouldn't even take Gary's calls. Why? He was definitely wasn't coming back to do stand up, but he became just a big star, and he bought into the whole thing. What are you gonna do? I'm tossing some things around for some future episodes. Definitely going to do something with the food and all the spots we used to go and eat, in the Bronx, in the neighborhood, all those memories of having dinner and the diners and all these fun stuff. I'm going to bring somebody on to kick that around. And also, I find it so funny that all the expressions that I say still, whether they're Italian or broken English, slang. So I want to talk about all the expressions that we used to have, and of course, what goes hand in hand with the expression is always the nicknames. So that's where I'm headed in the next few episodes. I'm going to try to, like maybe one more in 2 weeks, get the summer, as we're getting the summer to wind down, and we'll move forward. Once again, I want to thank everybody, because there's always one or two people after every episode that have the nicest things to say and how much they enjoy it. And it's not only guys from the neighborhood, it's just random people that I know, and it's really a lot of fun. I wanted to also, my birthday was last week, and we went down, we had a cake and everything, and one of our friends had a cookie that was the favor that my wife gave out on my 50th birthday, which was at the Dunwoody Golf Course. And I tell you, it was some night. It was really a fun night. What I really loved about it, I tried to find some photos of that party, but it was a clash of all my worlds. It was, Gary was there, Danny Calaro, Larry Samili, my two kids, my wife, all her friends, all my cousins, all my first cousins were there. And at this time, let's see, so that would have been 2004. We were right in the thick of grammar school over in Yonkers, Annunciation, and the group of people that we just became friends with. I've said it before, so lucky for me and my wife, especially for my wife. She's from New Jersey. It wasn't too crazy. Yonkers, what the hell are we doing here? But these people was so, they just embraced you, you know? And we made some, all of my son's friends, the parents became our friends. And then the circle just, blossomed from there. So there was a big group, I think it was like 2 tables of guys just from Yonkers there. And it was a fun night. It was like almost an all-nighter. Gary and Danny, they came up from Florida. They went down the neighborhood. They picked up a couple of mozzarella's and some great Italian bread. And when we got back to my house after the party, the mozzarella and the bread was on the counter, and everybody just started whacking up the mozzarella. So funny, and it was perfect ending of a great night. The only thing that maybe would have been a little bit better if there was some White Castle murder burgers on the counter there. But I'm going to put up a picture. I have a picture somewhere of this cookie that my wife gave out, and we're going to put that up. And I was thinking, too, how many of those people are from that party or from Annunciation that have heard about the podcast? So maybe I got to start whispering in people's ears just to put the word out. Maybe they might enjoy my little podcast here. So that was a great night. It's already 21 years ago. Boy, oh boy, I know all of us can't believe. We're lucky, I guess, to hit 71. Couple of things I wanted to say. What happened this week? Sean Keenan and Molly, his wife Molly, my son Luke's friend, had a baby boy a few days ago. So congratulations to them. Morgan McLaughlin, another one from the group there. She was the younger sister of Luke's friend Connor. She got engaged. She's a lovely girl. Wish her the best. And this past Sunday, we went to a 90th birthday party, birthday lunch for my cousin Janine's father. And nice group of people that we hadn't seen in a while. But what really made the day for me was this guy Nunu, who used to always pal around with us. He's going to have his own episode when I get to him. But he's a Portuguese guy, came here, didn't have one friend. He latched onto my cousin Joe, and just everybody embraced him. And actually, he was a character and a fun guy to be around. Between, the Hamptons, he was a big party around the Hamptons with us. Super Bowls, he came to many Super Bowls. So what impressed me so much was he flew in just for this lunch on Sunday from Portugal. So it was good to see Nunu, and a big shout out for him for making that trip. Everybody was so surprised. Figured nobody's, for a lunch, but he realized that this really was like his family too. You know, they were so they were. He was included in everything, Nuno, with these communions, graduations, baptisms. So it was a good time, and it was a nice day. So also happy birthday to Andy Lannis. He's 90. And I think I'm going to wrap this one up kind of short. We'll keep going, keep plugging along. Hope everybody's okay. And hope everybody's getting their PSA checked, because I went, everything's good. But I always try to tell people when I see them, make sure you're getting your PSA checked. Important. And hope everybody's doing well. Like to hear the good stuff. And until next time, Kick the Can Podcast.